We currently build process flow optimizations where we go install a bunch of edge devices on factories, collect data, and then process them and present them back in some useful format. What we actually enable companies do with this process flow is something called as Kaizen that a lot of companies follow, where they can take a particular small thing in the company and track it on how they've improved it over time and continuously do that. We started out in late 2019 and I think, started coming back to office about 4 or 5 months ago. We were almost remote when we were growing from like 5 people to about 25 people. And that was a difficult time personally, because it was hard to get a sense of what the person is capable of doing, and what they also missed is how quickly they can learn things from us. And along the way, we said it's better to come to office, but not everybody was open to the idea. So we sort of settled down in a hybrid model where we asked the engineering team to come in, and yeah, I think that's how it worked for us. I wouldn't want to differentiate between professional life and life at home. So to me, it's like one life that we've got, and we need to make the best out of it. And people who come in every day here, we don't feel okay, some guy from somewhere trying to do some role. We try and do roles that we aren't hired for. So some people complained a while back, like, hey, I was hired for this, but I'm doing this. I was like, if you don't like it, it's okay. You're not asked to do it. You can do something else. And the fun part was, one of the recent things that we did was when Money Heist was broadcasted on Netflix, we were like, office off. We sat, saw all the episodes at once, and then we had a party and everybody left. I'll quickly start. So I was going on a trek to Kedarkanta, and my CEO was like, can I reach you for those 4 or 5 days? I was like, you literally cannot. I was like, buy a satellite phone. I was like, hey, it's okay, nothing is gonna happen. The point that I'm trying to make is, if you really love your work, you'll know when to hustle hard and when to play hard. And I guess that's what we've tried to push within the company. We have had three people leave us, and most of it was either people didn't like being in a startup where you're forced to think a lot more than what you get to think at other places, especially with people who have service backgrounds. It doesn't really work out well for them. And the other kind of people who left us are people who came up with timelines, because we usually ask our engineers to come up with their own timeline, and they weren't able to meet one time, 2 times, and when it became all the time, it was quite obvious for them that it wasn't easy for them to commit to something and deliver it on time. So those are the kind of people who have left us. Obvious reason for us that has sort of been true is if you're affecting other people's productivity in variety of ways, that's a clear red flag for us. If your productivity is down, we'll figure out plans to help improve that. But if you start affecting other people's productivity, that's weakness. The simple rule that we try and stick to is try and collect data for startups and companies in and around Chennai, and be above the 90th percentile of what the average is for a given experience role. That's simply what we try and do. Given this work from home and all the remote functionality, it has become harder. We have to compete at the state, at the national, at the international level. So that's the challenge that we are constantly working on. So Rheo AI is something where we are still trying to figure out what the product is going to look like. So every day is a new day where we try and solve something new that comes to us. We go into different factories and everybody has different challenges. So I'd like to invite people who want to be part of an early stage startup where they get to know how to build a company, and people that I wouldn't recommend joining us would be people who have short goals where they want to make X amount of money for whatever reasons and join and try and jump to another place. We're looking for people who want to be part of building a company for quite some time.